Just out here jamming to the music, Brad.
That was something.
That was something.
I'm wondering if
This is my beautiful music, my intro music. You don't like it?
Well, I mean, did you pick that one or?
Actually, you know what? It just automatically comes with StreamYard, but I'm pretty sure we could probably pick. I could probably pick a different song or music. Anyways, welcome to our live tonight, guys. So we're coming to you from Firm Foundation. Now we're hoping this is going to be on school platform. We're new at this. So it might not be on school, and we're hoping that it's also on Facebook right now. And I guess you could probably check.
It'll be on school according to what the link said. It'll be on for school for whoever goes in and clicks on the link in school.
Clicks on the link. Okay.
Yeah, it won't just appear there.
Okay.
You have to go in and click the link in the community.
Right. But we should be live on Facebook as well right now. Let's just hope so. Maybe Brad will check for us.
If you go over to the school page, like if I go on my phone right now and look at it quickly, it'll tell us that we're live right now.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, while you're kind of looking to see if we're live. Okay. So cool. So this is the school platform right here. If you go into it, and it does say that we're live right now, so that's kind of cool.
But then you have to go. So from there, you'd have to click on calendar.
Okay. Go ahead.
And then open the thing, and then click on that stream link right there.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it because then it's going to bounce.
Right. It's going to back and forth. But not only that, it's kind of cool because I mean, if anybody's watching right now, they're probably watching on Facebook. But if you are on school, and we want you to be on school, right? Yeah.
It's going to be easy to join us there because, I mean, that's where we're going to start posting everything in the calendar. We're not going to have a calendar in Facebook and a calendar over here and a calendar over there and a calendar in school. It's all going to be in one location. Yeah,
which will be it's convenient. Yeah, so you can kind of see what's going on and stuff like that. So now tonight we're going to be talking about mental performance and mindset. So if you're hitting us on the replay, this is going to be a really good video. I say video, it sounds so old. Every time I say that, people make fun of me like, video, it sounds old. You're going to hopefully hit the replay, and it's going to be really good for your family. It's going to be good for everyone to really get that mental performance and mindset set straight, because this isn't just about athletes, but maybe, you know, there's other things in your life that you're struggling with. Could be your business, could be whatever. You can apply this to all kinds of things, but really what we're talking to is the heart of the athlete right now. But before we really get into that, Brad, we have an open house this Saturday. Did you want to just remind people about that?
Yep. This Saturday, April 25th. It's 11 till 1 p.m.
Right.
It'll be held at Fortitude Gym, which is 50 James Street.
It's 50 Mary Street.
Sorry, 50 Mary Street. Yeah. You have to enter off of James Street.
Right. It can be a little bit confusing. And so hopefully we're going to have a sign out there, because we learned when we did the Christmas market that it was a little bit hard to find. So hopefully we should have that all set up for you. So I was thinking about getting some white and blue balloons. So you should hopefully see that out at the corner of the road. But if you have any questions, let us know. We would really like to see you guys there. We're going to be doing like 15-minute circuits. The whole thing is going to be free. We're also going to have all of our active wear that's there. That's like gently used clothing. Some of it's brand new. Like we've got like almost every name brand that you can possibly think of, which is really cool. And we've got all different sizes. Mostly, to be honest, we've got mostly women's stuff because women tend to donate a lot of their stuff, right?
Yes, I believe there's a few men's items, but I don't think there's very many. And also with the clothing is that a percentage of all of that goes back into a fund, so we can help other athletes that would like to train or maybe play soccer or whatever. And it
can go back to our programs, which we actually, I think there's been 5 youth that we've been able to help out, which is really cool. So that funding has gone back into help so that we can, pay the rent and the administrative fees, all that kind of stuff. And then also like it is for those that might come to us and say, hey, like I can't afford soccer. Could you help contribute? And that's something we would look into. We're not just going to be giving out, free funding, because
we're not quite as big as Jumpstart.
No, we're not as big as Jumpstart, but we want.
They had to start somewhere too.
That's right, they did. That's a good point, Brad. They had to start somewhere. So, anyways, we pretty much announced that. Now we're going to kind of get into this conversation about mental performance and mindset, and there is a lot to be said. Like we could stay on this topic probably for like weeks on end, because there's so much to learn.
You have to sleep at some point.
You do have to sleep at some point, yeah. But anyways, so let's get into that.
Actually, that would be you. You have to sleep at some point.
Yeah, I do love my sleep.
I do.
That's true. So we thought we would kind of read some quotes from some athletes that are really well known and kind of find out like where's their mindset, how did they get where they wanted to go. So if you want to start reading some of those, that would be a good start.
Okay, well, here's one from most people will know this guy. Usain Bolt was known at one point as the fastest man in the world.
Wow.
He said, "The sky has no limits, neither should you."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think about like a lot of those underdog movies that you see, like, those really inspirational movies and they're true. A lot of them are true. Some of them are not true, right? And it's just for fun, but there's so many that are true.
Yeah.
And they started off as the underdog, but then they had the right coach come in, the right maybe player that was like, no, we need to change our mind. Yeah. We need to press in. And then they end up, being champions. So I think that's pretty cool. Go ahead.
All right. What's this one? Oh, okay. This one's Michael Jordan. For those who don't know, he was an RA basketball player. It says, obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it.
That's good. Or work around it. Okay, I'm going to get you to read that one more time. I'm just seeing if we're actually live. Yeah, we are live on Facebook. Okay, so read that one more time.
Okay, so
that's good.
It says, obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it.
Wow. That's really awesome.
And that was a quote from Michael Jordan, who, by the way,
right. Tell us about that.
Was said that he was cut from his high school basketball team.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So like,
and in my opinion, I'm not a LeBron James fan. In my opinion, the greatest basketball player in the world.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you imagine being cut from your high school team? And I think that's what's really awesome about like his mindset. I mean, he could have been absolutely discouraged and be like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm done. Like, but he didn't. If anything, look what he became.
Yeah, he turned that into a motivator.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing, right? Like, I think that we have to kind of get into that. We do have to get into that mindset. A lot of athletes, and you can see the athletes that really they're there for it, right? They are plugged in.
Oh, yeah.
And we can even see that even within the dryland training. Like we've got different levels of kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you can tell the kids that are there to work hard, and their effort is higher. There's just something that's different, right? Yes. And then you can tell the ones that are kind of just there because maybe they were forced to be there by their parents. So that happens. But anyways, go ahead.
Somebody's making them go.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so there may be people that have more talent than you, but there's no excuse for anyone to work harder than you do.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's really good. I'm just looking up quotes too here. Yeah. Okay.
And that was Derek Jeter, probably the best shortstop in baseball history.
Wow. So there may be people that have more talent than you,
but there's no excuse for anyone to work harder than you do.
That's true. That's a great point. Yeah. Like if you want something, no, I can't run off the coattail of your gifts and talents. Like I have to, say to myself, no, that's it. I have to be the one that's going to move forward in this. So that's really cool. Yeah. What else you got?
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Ooh. Okay.
And you see that a lot. There's a lot of gifted athletes out there, and I think of just some hockey players that extremely talented, but there was no work ethic, and you could see it. They didn't translate to the next levels because their effort wasn't there. They had all the skills in the world, but there was no effort to go with it.
And that is such a shame, right? You see, we have seen that it's like in so many arenas, quite literally courts, fields, where they are so talented, but then they got distracted by something, right? Could be drugs, alcohol, could be, they started to believe that it was enough. Do you know what I mean? Like I've made it. I don't need to put the effort in anymore. And then they started to fall off the track and they lost it all, right? We know those athletes. And so this is the thing about a really good athlete. They persevere, they keep pressing in. So what else you got there?
There's one from U.S. Looks like U.S. Women's National Soccer Team. Her name is Alex Morgan. It says, "Keep working even when no one is watching."
Oh, that's good too. Keep working even when nobody's watching. Because I think a lot of the times we do things because we want to be seen.
Yeah.
Right.
And here's the thing. So this goes back to hockey and the practices. Coaches know, they can see.
Oh yeah.
You'll have these kids that are like, "Oh, he's not looking right now. I can slow down." We know.
Yeah.
Coaches see it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're doing skating drills and everybody's going around the ice as hard as they can, and you're trying to go as hard as you can keep track of how quickly people are going around in laps.
Yeah.
So if you think that they're not looking and you slow down, they're going to be able to know that the time it took you to get from here back to here this time was much slower than the time before.
Yeah.
Because it's, so you think no one's looking.
But always put in that effort.
Yeah, so
even
you
when
take
nobody's
a step
looking.
back
Yeah.
and coast, and all of a sudden, instead of getting around the ice in whatever small kids, so let's say 25 seconds, it took you 35, 40. Well, that's something that will be seen right away when other kids start lapping you.
And I was going to say, like, you can really tell the athletes that have their heart and their mind, they're matched up. They're tied together, right? It's not just a thing about the mind. It's not just a thing about the heart, but it's both connected. Their heart is in that goal. Yeah. They're like, I am going full throttle. We see those athletes all the time. And it is awesome to watch. Like, you can pick them out. Like what you're saying, that coach is going to be really good and they're going to pick it out. If you're there, just say hi, because we can't see you if you're on Facebook, because we're on the YouTube side right now. But if you're there, say hi. We'd love to say hi to you.
They say hi.
They're going to comment in their comments below, and then it's going to pop up on our end so that we can see.
We'll still see it on
the
okay.
Because we definitely want to be able to interact with you. So,
gotcha.
You can see that heart. And just by their performance and their effort, it's pretty awesome. So let's kind of get into, do you have one more that you want to read? Did you have another one?
I have one up here.
Okay, yeah. Read that one while I look at this one. Yeah, read it.
It's actually just a picture of a little kid on the baseball field. It says, "The expert in anything was once a beginner."
Ooh, that's good.
Everybody had to start somewhere.
Yeah. Right. The expert in anything, was once a beginner.
So it doesn't matter what you do, what you play. If you're a runner, if you're a, cross country skier, if you're a baseball player, a hockey player, football player, you had to start from something.
Yeah, that's so good.
You weren't born with extreme talents.
Yeah, that kind
of, you can be gifted with talents.
Totally.
But you have to work for it. You have to.
Yeah, you gotta keep it's okay. So that's really close to what Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was listening to this really inspirational, motivational video. Yeah, Arnold. Okay, says he had said everything is always impossible until someone does it. So it's kind of like what you're saying, right? So everything does seem impossible until someone does it. But what if you are that someone that does it?
Yeah.
Right.
And that doesn't just have to be like sports and athletes.
No, that's so many things.
That's in life. There's so many people who are like, well, nobody's going to be able to ever do that. Well, what if you're the person who comes up with that idea?
Right. Like, think about
new inventors every day.
Totally.
You go all the way back to the light bulb. Who are like, you're crazy. Yeah. Fire is the only way you're going to get light.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. No, it's not.
Yeah. And how did you become a doctor? You kept pressing in. How did you become the president? Or the, like any sort of political leader, how did you get there?
Yeah, but
you work towards
new
it.
advances. Like, people are always going, oh, that'll never happen. The computer,
right?
Everyone said, well, the internet, you're crazy. That's not going to be a thing.
But it
now
does.
Look at it.
Yeah,
everybody's on the internet.
So the impossible becomes possible, right?
Sure
It's pretty cool. And that's the thing too. If you want to be a really good athlete, if you want to be the top athlete in whatever level you are, if you're in AAA, if you are in house league, doesn't matter, but you want to be the best, then you got to move different. You have to move different than everybody else. You got to get your sights on it, right? Like, if you want to be the best goalie, then you better act like a goalie. You better look like a goalie. You better practice like a goalie, right? Like, whatever it is that you're doing, you want to be the best golf player, then you better start acting like a golf player.
Yeah, like me.
So, but it's so important, right? Because I think sometimes we want the name, we want to be the golf player. We want to be the goalie. We want to be the defenseman or whatever it is that you're playing. But if you can have the title, but what if you don't move the way that you should be moving? You should be doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's going to make a huge impact. But anyways, okay, so I got one more thing too. It says here, make it your personal business to do it. So we need to make it our personal business to accomplish, to do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So we're talking about mental performance and mindset. And as we've been like listening to these quotes, they're pretty awesome. And I think they've got great advice because they've been there, done that. I have this little thing here where it's talking about being champion-minded. The champion-minded athlete is number one, accountable. So I'll read that. So a person who has great mental performance and mindset, they are accountable.
Yeah.
They make responsibility for their own actions. They take responsibility. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, having ownership of your and accountability to everything in life is it's not just important, it's an extreme value, right? Because with that accountability, so to say that, okay, yeah, this is where I messed up, this is where I need to improve, this is
That's
where
good.
I need to, get stronger, this is where I need to work harder.
Yeah,
that's going to build you, and it builds your integrity, and then people they'll come to you, they'll rely on you for things, because accountability, it goes right alongside integrity, right?
Yeah.
So it's showing up. It's putting in the work, doing that extra step. If you're training, doing that extra squat, doing that extra bench press, doing that extra sprint, whatever it is, but holding yourself to a different standard, a different level.
Yeah, you're gonna get
and
there.
Then owning it when you're slacking off. Oh, you know what? Today wasn't my day. But I'm going to come tomorrow with a better attitude, and I'm going to do better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And that's so important, like in anything in life, to be accountable, right? Now coachable, so like a champion-minded person, someone who they have great mental performance, great mental mindset. They're going to be coachable.
Yep.
They listen and they welcome feedback. Now, we all know when we're not coachable, right? We're guarded. We're like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
I already know, you can't tell me.
Yeah. And so we do see that even when we're training, even when someone's training me, sometimes I get that mindset too. I'm like, I already know how to do a really good squat. Like, don't tell me. Yeah. But why not listen to that person, right? Who's coaching you to do that much better. You're going to become a better athlete if we're open to that, right? If we're being coachable. So what are your thoughts on that too?
Well, I mean, coachable people will go farther.
Yeah.
Because they can take the information from somebody that's, trying to share. And when I'm saying like criticism, I'm talking constructive criticism. I'm not talking somebody screaming at you and yelling down at you.
Totally. That's different.
Somebody who is giving you some tips that you might think are critical might be something that, because they see
potential
in you here, but you're training here,
right? And
they know that you have another gear.
Totally.
So being able to take that information from a coach, a trainer, and say, okay, I put that right here.
Apply it.
Now go and do it.
Yeah.
Right. That's huge. Like, uncoachable people that have extreme talent don't typically make it.
No. And there's so many that are so talented, but they're not coachable.
Yeah.
Right. And
they already know everything.
Yeah. We don't want to be those people. Like, we want to be humble, right? Like, if you're going to be an athlete, be a certified beauty, right? Like, I think that's awesome, because what does a certified beauty mean? Like, it means somebody who has good integrity on the ice and off the ice, right? This is like hockey slang talk or whatever, but they're going to have all of these attributes that we're talking about, and you're going to work towards it. So work towards your character and make it better. Right. So, okay. What about competitive? Okay. They love the challenge. So again, someone who's got a good mental performance and mindset, they're going to be competitive, but they love the challenge, and then they embrace the struggle. Ooh. Actually, that's really good. So you think about that. Like, if you think about the word challenge, The word change is actually in the word challenge, right?
Yep.
And so if we don't have that challenge, there's got to be some competitiveness, because what are you working towards?
Well, if you don't have a little bit of competitiveness,
right?
Yeah,
what's the point?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you plan on going with this?
Right. Yeah.
You know, if you're playing at we'll use hockey as an easy example. You're playing on a high level of hockey. If you have no compete level.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be sitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
so true.
Like, you have to be competitive. You have to compete. That just comes from a desire. That's a drive.
Yeah. What about competing against
competitiveness
yourself?
is a thing that's very hard to teach.
It is.
That's something that it has to be. It's all up here.
Mm-hmm.
If your head's not in the right space,
it's not in the game.
You're not going to be. You might be off one day, and then your competitive level is going to be down. Your compete level's off, and that's something that people notice, and coaches see it, and parents will see it, and but it doesn't mean that you're done. Yeah, it just means that maybe today wasn't your day. And you just you refocus and you get back at it and you put in the work. Yeah, you just keep going.
So what's important is that the athlete embraces the struggle and the challenge, because here's the thing: if we don't embrace that affliction, that struggle, that challenge, then we're not going to grow. It's in the struggle and in the challenge where we have growth. And I think that's where you can really see someone who's understanding that when you begin to compete even against yourself. Right? You're like, today I'm going to plank longer. Today I'm going to squat deeper. You're challenging, you're competing against yourself, but you're also competing in a healthy way against others. Right? But it's through those hard times that you're like, that just made me stronger. And you can tell who those athletes are too. So I think that's really cool. Okay. So confident. Now, this is really a great one because they believe in themselves. I think there's a lot. This is what I see personally. And I think you do too, Brad. We see, well, you can see both. You see there's an arrogance about some.
Yep.
That's not confidence. That's arrogance. Yep. But then you can also see the opposite where I'm just going to stay low and I'm just going to, I'm just here. And so confidence is getting your sight set on something and being like, you know what, I am talented in this. I am gifted in this. I'm going to work hard. What are your thoughts on that?
Confidence comes as you grow. So, I mean, as you compete in something or complete something or, you set a goal for here and you reach there. Yeah. Then it gives you that confidence to say, okay, well, now I'm going to go here. Right. So it's something that happens when you do something and you contribute in something that then you see a result that you were hoping for. Yeah. And then it helps you build forward. Yeah. Right. You're building forward to the next step.
And this is really big for us, in Firm Foundation. This is where I would say a lot of what we're doing is on that Firm Foundation. It's allowing athletes to become more confident, right? We don't want arrogant athletes. We want confident athletes that know that their abilities are being built up from this firm foundation and that they are good people. They're people of integrity.
If you're training, in the gym, arrogance will bring injuries.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. No, that's a really good point.
Because that arrogant cockiness, I can do that. Well, I can. Oh, 200 pounds. That's no problem. Maybe it's a picture.
Oh, I'm trying to look up. I want to look up. Keep going.
You become arrogant to something and then you overdo, or you try to lift more than you know you can. Yeah. So that's a huge difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence is okay, I know I can do 125, so I'm going to do 125 and I'm going to do it properly with good form, and I'm going to do it 10 times. Arrogance says I can do 200.
Right. And then, and
then you hurt yourself.
And all that, you're hurting other people too. And I'm just reading this here. It says confidence plays a critical role in reaching success, fueling ambition, and sustaining resilience when challenges arise. Yeah. So that is amazing mental performance and mindset. So what else you got there? I think it's, Consistency. Oh, that's a good one.
So you commit to daily habits. You change behaviors. and you have action.
Yeah. So
consistency is the commitment to daily habits, behaviors, and actions.
Yeah. So I think the thing about consistency too is getting really honest with yourself, right? Because what happens is like we start to fall off the wagon, right? Like you were going to the gym for like months on end, a year, you're doing so good, right? And then that consistency stops. Maybe like, something gets thrown at you and you're like, oh, I got an injury or whatever, right? But find things to do where you can stay consistent with the body parts that, you can be moving or whatever that looks like. But it is about getting honest. So if you're falling off that consistent wagon, and you're finding that you are lacking, that's where you need to get honest and say, what's the problem here?
Yeah.
Why have I fallen off? Mm-hmm. And then as soon as you become honest with yourself, then consistency will begin to flourish again because you're going to face that and say, that's why. Yeah. What else you got?
Are we doing the whole list?
I'll just do a few more.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Be determined.
Right.
So they are eager and prepared to go the extra mile.
Yeah, that's true.
So determination would be, like for me, I'm not a big fan of sprints.
Right.
So to say, okay, today in this training, we're going to do this and this, and we're going to do, 10 wind sprints and this and that, set yourself up and say, okay, I'm going to do those and I'm going to do them to the best of my ability and I'm going to get through them. And then we're going to move on to the next set, workout, exercise, whatever it is that's coming up.
Yeah.
And it's also just determination is what's going to drive you to that next level. It's what's going to help push you to say, yeah, I want to get here. Then I have to do the work to get here.
Yeah. Like how did Michael Jordan get where he was, right?
He was determined to not let that, high school team that cut him be the final slate.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what? No.
Right.
I'm going to make this team next time.
Right. And you think about every professional athlete, right?
You work harder and you work harder. Tom Brady is the best quarterback in NFL history. He was drafted 199th overall.
Wow. Right.
Unheard of. Everyone was like, who's this guy?
Right. Yeah. But he was determined. He did not back down. And
he gets more rings than fingers.
Probably. Yeah, no, I think that's really good. And then you've got disciplined. Let's just do 3. We're going to do 3 more. Disciplined. Okay, you have self-control. This is huge. If you don't have self-discipline, and this is so important, guys, that we get self-discipline in everything in life, right? You have got to have some time management.
Yeah.
Set a plan. That self-discipline. Mm-hmm. You schedule that time. You say, this is when I'm going to do it. This is when I'm going to show up. Right. For like dryland, because I think even a lot of athletes, they're like, well, I'm doing what I'm doing, it's
good enough.
It's good enough. But statistics show that going to the gym, lifting the weights, doing the dryland training is actually going to strengthen you more. It's going to make you more.
It's where you grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you can work on we'll use hockey as an easy example. You can work on skating, edges.
Yeah.
You can work on shooting. You can work on stick handling, but you won't skate faster without building leg muscles.
Mm-hmm.
You won't shoot harder without building
stick handling,
muscles, forearm muscles, shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That ability to never be knocked off the puck.
Right.
Like, so you think of a guy like Sidney Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the biggest player in the NHL. That guy is
he was so
impossible to get off the puck. Why? Because he trained hard.
Self-discipline.
He has strong legs and core, and it's hard to move him.
Right.
That doesn't happen by just going to practice and skating.
Right. Yeah, like he was showing up to things other people weren't showing up to.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to be number 1. I'm going to be the top, and this is how I'm going to do it. Right. So he executed the plan.
Speed and I just forgot the other word.
That's all right.
Endurance. Those come from training.
Yeah.
They don't just come from being on the ice.
Yeah. Is that self-discipline? Because he chose that, right? So, driven. You want to read through it?
They wake up each day with a desire to be better than the day before.
So that's kind of like we just talked about that.
Yeah. So yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, again, if you don't have the drive, why are you doing it?
Right. Remind yourself. And I think that's the thing. We need to remind ourselves on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? Because I love this.
Yeah. And you know, I'm hearing little stories here and there with like some of these athletes, 13, 14 years old, that have been playing some AAA hockey. They don't have the drive.
Yeah, that's true.
So
they're getting distracted.
They're stepping down.
Right.
And they're going to go play single or double or just regular rep hockey because they don't have the drive and the desire to keep putting in the effort to go. Yeah. So they would rather just go and have fun. And
that's okay too.
There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want, then that's where you go. But if you want to be here at the top level, then you have to have that drive. You have to want to work. Yeah.
And show up for sure. Yeah. And again, you can tell those people that are driven, right? Because they are showing up.
Yeah. Yes.
Even when everybody else isn't, right? So, okay, let's just read one more. So focused. They
so you eliminate distractions.
Right. Yeah.
So if 5 till 6 is gym time, 5 till 6 is gym time.
Right.
You just do this and you put on these blinders.
No matter what anybody else is doing.
And it's 5 till 6. It doesn't matter what your girlfriend's doing, what your friends are doing.
Right.
Someone calls you and says, "Hey, I know tonight's training night, but we're thinking of going to the movies at 6:30."
Yeah.
Well, then I'll meet you there at 7:15.
Right. Yeah, or you might have to say no, right?
Yeah. So that's focus.
Yeah.
Right. And then that will work your drive, your desires. All of these things tie together. Right.
Yeah.
They all come together with when you're thinking from that mindset of, okay, I want to improve. I want to be better. Or, and some people say, I want to be the best.
Yeah.
Right. Some people want to be the top guy.
Yeah.
Those people that are there have extreme focus.
Yeah, for sure.
They set a goal and it's okay in the morning. When I wake up, I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to eat this. Then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to train here. If you're still in school, obviously you got school stuff to do in there. But you think about some of these younger guys that played OHL, WHL, they're playing NCAA. These guys are in school because they have a thing with the CHL that's the award of excellence. So like
they're working towards that,
are also making sure that they're getting education. But they have a routine. They're up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and they do a morning session or even a morning skate. And then they go and fuel themselves and eat properly. And then they have schoolwork that needs to get done. And then they have another training and then they'll have to fuel again. And so, like there's a massive focus there. There's a time set out for every single thing throughout their day.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And that will also help you. If you're in the top of your sport, so hockey, AAA hockey, you should be setting a daily routine for yourself. If you want to stay
Time
here
managed,
or
so
get higher, a daily routine for yourself.
Yeah.
When your friends want to sleep till 9 o'clock, let them sleep till 9 o'clock. If you want to be the best player in AAA hockey, you better be up at 6.
Right. And lead, because you very likely could be the one that influences. You're the captains, you're the assistant captain, you're the one that's getting picked because you're leading with that integrity, right? And it's kind of exciting. So lead in a way that other people are going to catch that. It's going to be contagious because you're so focused. Other people are like, you know what? I want to be more like that athlete, focused like them. I'm going that way in the same direction. Now, to kind of wrap this up, I think for me, I would say if you're beginning to lose that passion, that's a problem, right? I think you need to kind of revisit because none of this is going to matter. What we're talking about, like accountability, coachability, competitive, all these things. If you are beginning to lose that passion in whatever it is that you're doing as an athlete, then you may have to revisit and be like, why was I doing this in the beginning? Remind yourself, right? And so maybe it's not for you anymore, but if it is, like, don't lose that joy.
Mhm.
Sometimes we can get so tied up in the grind and the hustle and being the best that we're no longer liking it. We're no longer loving it. That's a problem. And so for us, especially at Firm Foundation, we want to make sure that these athletes know who they are, but that they're passionate
Yeah.
about what they do.
Yeah.
And you're not losing that zeal. You're not losing that passion, because as soon as you do, it becomes more of a weight. It becomes a checklist item, right?
Or it's a hindrance, or that's when, you start saying, I don't really need to go tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't feel like
Mhm.
it. And, everybody has those moments.
Totally.
Let's, again, people have those times in their life, but then that's when you reflect and okay, so
where's my head at?
Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why do I want this?
Mhm.
And what do I want to get out of this?
Yeah.
If we look at just those 3 questions, what do I want from this? Why am I doing this? Or even, where do I want this to take me? So some people play sports because maybe they want to go to university,
right?
Scholarships,
Yeah.
NCAA.
Yeah.
That's huge. A lot of hockey players that also play lacrosse are competing at the levels they are because they're hoping that will help them get over to school. So
right.
maybe one of those sports they will play professionally at some point, but maybe it's also a way to help them get in because financially their parents can't afford, $150,000, $200,000 for school over 4 years. Yeah. But if you have a scholarship, well,
right.
Now you get to play a game that you love and train and go to school. So, it opens up opportunity for other things. So again, you have to look at that why.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? Why do I play this game? Why do I train this hard? Why?
Yeah. And if it's beginning to become a depression, because that's a real thing, because we're talking about mental performance and mindset, we won't be on here much longer, but listen, you see those athletes that they start acting a certain way, they start behaving a certain way. They don't have that passion, that zeal, that excitement anymore. Is becoming more of a burden. So that's where we need to revisit, not just as the athlete, but as a family. We need to come alongside, these kids and say, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Let's not like push them and force them and all these kind of things. Because if they begin to lose that, well, then everybody's feeling it in the family, right? And a huge percentage, because we're talking about mental performance and mindset, the way that your mind is going to operate is the way that you're going to flow and the way that you're going to go, right?
Yeah.
So if you start feeling depressed and heavy and weighed down because of the sport, or you're feeling too much pressure, it's going to translate. You're going to see that, right?
Yeah.
But if you have that zeal, that passion, everyone's going to see that, that excitement, right? So, but we also want to share with you guys too that it is normal that if you do have an athlete in your family, a child in your family right now, that is feeling sad, that is feeling these things, it's time to really sit down and talk with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Or maybe they're doing too much of it. Like
that too.
Hockey players have this thing where they think they need to play hockey 12 months out of the year.
Right.
That is a big mistake. They
need
time.
We do need to take
time
mental breaks.
Away from that game, from that pressure, from that. I have to perform this certain way.
Yeah.
But that's also the time where they can go play other games that they want. Some go play lacrosse. Some take the summers and, go water.
Still training, right? Yeah.
And doing these things. But it's also the time to get into the gym.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be there 7 days a week, 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
You came 2 or 3 times a week, depending on your age too, for an hour and a half. You're going to get in a really good training, and then it gives you time to go hang out with your friends, go to the ballpark and watch a baseball game, go out on the water on the boat with your friends and family,
and these are all important.
These things have to happen too. I've seen too many people, and I've known too many people where they play one sport and they play it 12 months out of the year, and by 16 years old they're done.
Yeah, they're just like totally burnt out.
They want nothing. Yeah. They want nothing to do with it because there was so much pressure put on them to perform at this level for the last 4 years of their life.
Yeah,
they're like, no, I
and sometimes that pressure is coming from the outside, but it's also coming from the inside.
Yeah.
So it can come from two places, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we do need to, but like time management, because we're talking about time management. So be self-disciplined.
Yeah.
If you want to be at the top of the top, be self-disciplined, but you have to also be self-disciplined enough to say, I deserve to have a life.
Yeah.
So it's finding that balance. And I know it's not an easy thing to do by any means, but it is finding that balance to say life.
Yeah.
And here's the sports. When I'm all in, I'm all in. When I'm here with my family, I'm all in. My friends, I'm all in, right? Like, so that it's not enveloping you to the point where it's taking over your life. Yeah.
You need to create a schedule.
Yeah. It's important. Good athletes are going to create a schedule, time manage, right? So that they can allot those things in there. Mm-hmm. And it's not an easy thing to do, but if you can start getting on that now, oh man, guys, we're just telling you right now, you are going to go leaps and bounds if you can really get that time management under self-discipline, right? Like, yeah. Being honest. But anyways, well, we're not going to be on here much longer, but we are so thankful that you guys joined us tonight. And, we're getting excited because I got to tell you guys, we're talking to some athletes that are playing at like the Canadian top level. Like, I don't even know how you would say that, but like professional.
Olympic.
Yeah, Olympic.
One's going to be training to potentially try to make a summer Olympic team.
Right. But we haven't had the official yes. Yeah. We're just in the talks right now. So we want to be careful here. But
and then another person just
let's just say they're local. Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll say that because we don't know for sure if they're going to say yes to coming on. But that's where we want to get, right? We're beginning to bring these athletes on and talk.
To even just have a quick conversation.
Right.
And say, hey.
Tell us all the things that you've learned, right? Yeah. So that's kind of where we're hoping to kind of go that route on like the Tuesday nights, bring in those professionals and the nutritionists and all that kind of stuff. So, we got a couple of viewers tonight, so we're so thankful. But we're hoping that we're just going to keep growing. You got to start somewhere. We're talking about athletes starting somewhere. Yeah. That's us, and we're just going to keep showing up, right?
Yeah.
Be self-disciplined.
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
7:00.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Hopefully you're hanging out with us. All right. Anyways, guys, we're so thankful for you, and we'll chat with you soon. Bye.